It's not the prize that causes a win. It's the effort, the work, the faith to believe for the win. The prize that causes the win is not focusing on the results, but focusing on the faith. Your faith causes your results, not your study of someone who's faithful. By studying their outbound manifestations and works, because they are only a manifestation of what they have faith for, what they believe for. You can't focus on the outward manifestations to learn faith. Your lifestyle manifested in your inward faith. There is no method to follow, no formula to follow outwardly that's so going to change your inwardly that it might help out that questionable, because you will soon get tired of acting what you are not inwardly. Now, if you can figure what I said there, your faith runs the show, not your actions. You are what you have faith for. It's an inward belief that has its outward manifestations. If it's outward that works, then you could follow someone, eat the same breakfast, walk the same way, talk the same way, and it would have an effect, but not like the source of life, which is your faith. We all live by faith, either faith telling us a lie or faith telling us the truth. Our faith is capable of almost anything, so it tells us our faith what it thinks we are, and we become what our faith dictates. Saints or sin or good or evil, or somewhere in between, but you can do nothing without faith, no matter who you study under. Faith can only be decided by you. There is a God and there's a devil. Who will you follow? Who will you believe? Or someone in between that. Of course, then you upset both parties. You can only please one master. Who will you serve? Who will you follow this day is always the question. The faith of God created the world, and the world is run by faith. The good and the faithful fill the world with their faith of doing good, and the faith in evil spread their faith and belief for those who will follow their faith. Faith in itself is a tool that you can use to get closer to God or closer to the devil. There's not a third choice. No fence, never was one. The fence is a place if you knew what you should have done but didn't. The Bible calls it the sin of omission. The fence setting is always on the evil side, never on God's side. Yes, you might have to at times consider about what your deciding about to do, but it's not totally clear what the right decision is. But 99% of the time it's clear what the godly decision is. But if you have to take your time to figure it out, do it. But every decision does not fall in that category. Your conscience will alert you. Unless you've gone so far that you have a reprobate mind, then you don't have a conscience anymore, and just your own personal decisions are there. By your faith, all your outward life is from. Once we reach the age of accountability, we stand on our own faith, not our parents, not our pastors, not our leaders, but our own faith alone. And through that faith, we come to really know God or not know God, our choice. Not just knowing about it, but knowing Him. Someone says, you're not operating in faith. And I say, sure you are operating in some perverted form of faith at least. Like, I don't believe I can do such and such. That's faith. You have faith, you can't do it. It's not the thing, that's the problem, but your faith. Your misuse of faith also, to believe a lie and not the truth. Faith is the foundation from which you stand, good or bad. What am I capable of doing? Well, what do you have faith for? What can you believe for? So it's always your results, either faith for good or faith for evil about yourself or anyone else. To one man, every obstacle is an opportunity to learn. To another, it stops him from accomplishing anything. Faith opens your eyes to the opportunities. That to the negative faith people is just another insurmountable problem. It's never what is thrown at you. It's what you do with it. Your interpretation of it. The blame or the credit is always yours. To one with positive faith, the world is like a bunch of opportunities they can handle. The negative faithful person, everything is just another problem they can't handle. They're all day situations, which are either an opportunity. All day there are situations. They're either opportunities to one or a problem, impossibility to another. The world will conform to your faith. The world doesn't direct your faith unless you've decided to give them the direction and let them take over for you. All day long, your faith decides your outcomes, not the incidences, but your faith, either for good or for your bad. People say, that's my bad, which is saying, I take responsibility for the situation, which is true. But usually they're just saying, I decided not to believe. Your faith has drawn money and events to your life, to you. So let your faith bring your opportunities, not what you feared the most. You're 100% right. When you say, I fear something, you will get it. You must change your faith to be used in the positive way. It isn't what your master told you, your friends told you, your wife, or anyone else. It's what your faith told you. You know, faith is either lacking or faith is your strength. For life is not what you asked for or imagined for, but what you believed for, what you had faith for about life. In your heart of hearts, what did you believe? In the depths of your soul is what counts, and will project you and shoot you to your destiny. Your heart fulfills the destiny that you believed for. In the moment in time, you could have a life that might be greater or lesser than you're living at the moment, but you'll always eventually end up to what you believed for, what you had faith for deep in your heart. Not a service moment thought that, oh, something great's going to happen, and then most of the time you think bad's going to happen. But deep in your heart, there are no accidents, accidental places to believe for. You can change the place for what you believe for at this moment. This moment, this very time and place happened because of your fears and because of your hopes, because of your good or because of your bad beliefs you had about yourself. Life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. There are no accidents or coincidences. Your belief has put you exactly where you projected yourself. Good news, you can correct it. All things are possible. It will take much work. But what were you doing with your time anyway? You were drifting down a river with no rudder. You were in constant movement. There's no place where there is no movement. You are constantly moving. There's no place where there's no such a place of no movement. You are constantly moving to a destiny that you have chosen, or someone else has chosen it for you because you let them. Just circumstances don't choose you. You chose them. Either you take charge of your will, your direction, or the currents of life will take over. You're not who you are by accident. This is not an accidental life, but a life you chose to live by choice, not circumstances. You gave charge to your choices. Decide your destiny or the lack of them. Your decision. How to get better, amazingly better. Can't happen quickly, but whatever you deeply, really believe, what is your intention, your deep felt beliefs and faith can do anything with enough time. And deep faith has no impossibilities. Because now you're thinking like God. What are your intentions? Even in law, a person's intent makes a huge difference in an outcome of a trial. Your intentions put you constantly on trial. This is what people respond to, not your demeanor, but people instinctively respond to your intent in your heart, in your deep felt beliefs. That's what they're hearing. Your words are just either a reflection of it or a camouflage, something else. You're never separated from your deep beliefs and faith for very long. They will always dictate your life. There are little and big judges through your life, but there's always God's assessment, God's judgment going on. He ultimately decides your forever place. If you believe in your heart you're a loser, for example, it will plague you every moment of your life. It will unravel as that. Not because you're a loser, because God doesn't make losers. You made yourself a loser. You put it in your heart. Or you let someone else put it in your heart. You believe the lie that you're a loser, so guess what? You got what you had faith for. God never made a loser human being ever. His intent was to make us kings and priests. All were made in his image. God didn't make you in his image so that you'd be junk. God doesn't make junk. But some have taken their belief as a sincere truth in their hearts, and results are the meditations of your heart, is your reality, how you believe, how you think all day. Just know that there is no such thing, that God never made such a human being as a junk human being. That nothing changes. That knowing changes everything so that we can change. For there's a belief for some goodness in every man. Someone brainwashes you for a period of time. Eventually you'll come to your senses and realize the truth you believe, at least. And hopefully you had faith for the right belief. And then it comes down to, what are you going to do about it? What are you willing to believe for? Who will you follow this day? Always. That is the choice before you. But you are in charge of your destiny. No, there's no, you're going somewhere and God directed half of us to hell and half of us to heaven. No, he wanted us all. He might know what you were going to choose, but he didn't make you choose it. That's the important thing. He gave you in charge. He put you in charge of that. Maybe someone else has that choice for you, but guess what? You gave him that choice. You chose. You vote about yourself. The vote is in your hands. Choose you this day who you will believe, who you will follow, what you will have faith for. And you will have it. Amen.